Welcome to BlackUSA.news morning show. I'm your host, William Honolulu Jr. Join us as we explore the news and opinions that impact our community. We break down how the major stories have a very personal, local, and racial impact. No topic is off limits, but even if the conversation gets rough, we're always going to keep it real. Greetings and salutations, all my friends out there in internet land. I am William Honolulu Jr., and I have the privilege of serving as the host of the Black USA News Morning Show. Good morning to you. We are joined today by our special guests from the West Coast. We're going to be talking about natural hair care, Stevie and Shanel. You all remember Shanel. She is the Crown Adjustor. So we're going to bring her back so you all can get your minds right. And she's going to be sharing with you guys a really great event that she has coming up that really helps have a better conversation or more refined conversation about natural hair care and what that should look like in the Black community. Also, it's a really great opportunity for stylists, product promoters, product producers, small batch manufacturers. It's an opportunity for everybody in the natural hair care industry to take their brand to the next level and really to get it out in front of a whole new group of people. So we're going to have that conversation coming up in a little while. But y'all know how it goes. There's a whole bunch of show notes I need to take care of first. So we want to take care of what we need to take care of, because otherwise, the drama in the background when it's like, you were supposed to say this. It's like, yeah, but it was a good show, but you forgot to, you know what? But not that my team sounds like that. I'm not trying to, because that might end up being a show note itself. Ooh, that. All right, you know what? Well, forget it. But you know what I do like to talk about? I like to talk about our relationship with Breadcoin. As you can see right here on the screen, Breadcoin is just that. It is a coin, not made of bread. Don't get it twisted. Breadcoin is a coin that's minted by the organization Breadcoin. And what it is an alternative payment method that takes the value of donations and puts those values into the bread coin. So right now, each bread coin is worth about $2.50. So what happens is that these coins are distributed through a network of providers, people who already work in the community and know who needs what type of assistance. They know who's homeless. They know who's struggling with nutritional security and stuff like that. And we're able to get these tokens into their hands directly. It gets even better because when they get the tokens, they're able to go to participating vendors and participating restaurants, participating excuse me, participating caterers, and they're able to use the bread coin with whatever cash they have, or if they don't have cash, in place of cash, and nobody has to know. A lot of times we want to help people, but we want to help the right people. A lot of times the cost of assistance for many people is the loss of their dignity. We require them to look like they need help, or to behave like they need help, look like they're struggling before we feel comfortable sharing our resources with them. One of the reasons I'm really proud of Black USA News' partnership with Breadcoin is because they allow people to maintain their dignity and still have the resources they need to be successful. So make sure that you hit Breadcoin up online. It's breadcoin.org. It is so easy, and find out how you can support them. Also, they have a lot of outreach activities and things like that. So make sure that you get them to come to your community and talk about food security, or hell, bring some Breadcoin to your neighborhood if you know that there's somebody in your community that is struggling. All right. As you all may know, Maryland is having its 2022 elections, and we have ongoing coverage of the elections, not just the results and things like that, because you can get those from any place else. But what we have is we have people who've been involved in community activities and politics at a number of levels, and they bring their expertise to the table. And we have, those shows put together. We also have interviews directly with some of the candidates. So it's nice to hear to read their marketing material and stuff like that. But it's something totally different when you hear from them directly and you have a better idea how to hold them accountable. My company, the Grinding Gang, we help you take your business to the next level. One of the ways that we do that is help you get through all the noise. As entrepreneurs, as business owners, whether you have been in business for a little while or a long time, one of the things that we all find challenging is making sense of all of the information. There are times where you'll pick up one article and it'll tell you to do A, and then you'll pick up, that same periodical will publish an article next week and tell you to do B. You'll go to one workshop and tell you to do one, and you have go to another workshop that tells you to do infinity. There's so much information, and everybody wants to tell you what you need to do. We don't do that. We help you walk through your process so that you can figure out your own business goals and objectives and your business values. Because we can sit down and help you come up with some goals right now, but what happens as the circumstances, the business ecosystem changes? You need to be clear not just about what your goals are, but how you came up with those goals so that as the world changes, you could change with it. And last but certainly not least, Darker Than Blue Grill. Darker Than Blue is located at 413 North Charles Street in Baltimore, Maryland. It is an amazing place with amazing food. And y'all know the Cowboy Prime Rib. I told you all I was supposed to get ready to go and go out to Darker Than Blue. Had to move it back a little bit because I had to take my son to school, so I had to move it back. Yeah, that's parental love right there. That's parental. I passed up a date and some food for you, man. Listen, that's amen. We go, but let's okay. I'm not as great as that might sound. I did record some of it, so now we got a whole show about him. Because I'm a dad and it's my show, and we're gonna celebrate my kids whenever the hell I say we're gonna do. Okay, all right. Sorry. Is that gonna be a show note? That's probably gonna be a show note. All right, sorry. All right. Let me see. Is there anything else I'm supposed to do? Because again, I'm trying to be respectful of the process. I'm trying to put on quality entertainment and education for you guys. And so I want to make sure I cover all the bases. One of the bases that before we transition in, one of the bases that I want to cover is just to say thank you. You have a lot of other opportunities or a lot of other options of things to watch and places to be and places to get your information. And I got to be honest, I'm very glad and very grateful that you have chosen to be with us this morning, or whenever you're catching us. So from the entire team here, the production team, and the rest of us, just to say thank you. And well, I guess that, oh God, I wasn't even trying to set it up this way, but I also need some help. Oops. I am grateful for you, but I do need some help. Let me tell you why. Greetings and salutations, all my friends out there in internet land. I am William Honolulu Jr., and I have the privilege of being the host of the Black USA News Morning Show. The Black USA News Morning Show is currently recruiting guests for an upcoming series on single parents and co-parenting. We find that there's a lot of misinformation and a lot of isolation in the narrative about single parents. And we want to make sure that we keep this platform available to tell the true story, our people's story. The topics that we will be covering range from health, wellness, type of support, how important your social support system is, romance, and things of that nature. If you're interested in becoming a guest, you can check the link in the description. You can email us at info@grindinggang.com, or you can visit this link. Thank you so much and have an awesome day. Okay, so I'm looking around, checked all my notes. Because y'all know how I get when I get excited and have some people here, got company and stuff, get all excited. I try to remember not to act out because people raised me better than, or allegedly they raised me better than that. Because when people say they raised you better than that, you gotta. It makes me pause. It's like, because I'm doing this right now. So did you really? We probably shouldn't let my mama see this one. Okay, remember, edit that out. All right. Hey guys, Stevie, Shanel, how y'all doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing pretty well. So thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it. I know it's y'all on the West Coast all the way out there enjoying sun and fun and stuff like that. We got a little rain on this side, but it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of rain.
So
as long as it ain't flooding like you.
But you ain't never lied. We're gonna talk about that. I think tomorrow. We're gonna talk about that eventually. Just climate change. This is one of the things. Like so many things to talk about. Like the world has like started like going into overdrive, and there's like stories all over the place about everything, and sadly is everything is important. But one of the
Yeah,
things,
good and bad. It's been on overdrive, but it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. Some people trying to catch up, and some people just trying to realize, okay, there's more help out there, that needs to be done, and that's a part of the side that we on right now.
absolutely, and that's one of the things I wanted to talk about, is that even as we have these kind of cataclysmic events, it still doesn't negate some of the progress that has been made on the individual level, personal rights and responsibilities and stuff. And one of the things we've talked about on the show several times is throughout the United States, there are a lot of states that are passing what's been known or come to be called the Crown Act. And it is legislation. You all know it's late, but I make sure, for those who out there who may not understand, it's legislation that has been passed in all of these states and at local levels as well that provides for Black people's hair. It's crazy that we needed a law to say that, how it just naturally grows, that's okay. And there's understanding the difference, or elevating the conversation around the difference between style and texture and all of these types of things, and how important they are. And so talk to the people a little bit about who you all are and what brought you all to the natural hair care game.
Well, I can start it off because I'm pretty fast with mine. So I run a brand called Handle Biz Have Fun, and we mentor student athletes and we develop them on and off the field. And so I'm primarily on the sports side. However, with me being, I feel like I'm a creator. One random day, I'm looking for a loctician. I don't never really get my hair done, but I was looking for a loctician, and I randomly found Miss Shanel, and we had a few sessions, and from there, I just noticed her energy. Her energy is first of all, she's one of the best stylists that I've been to, and then just as a person, it was like, okay, she needs to be seen with other people. Other people need to see her or something, because she got so much info, or she got abilities to help so many people. So, one creator to another, things end up happening, and now we're here with you, and we putting on our event. So that's how I came in the picture. Everything else is mainly on Miss Shanel.
So what, real quick before you get started, I just want to jump into something Stevie said. One of the other provisions of the Crown Act, I don't know if you all have seen this, where you have kids who are in sports who, before they are able to participate, there is some coach or some referee that says, hey, you got to cut your locks. And one of the ones that I saw that broke my heart, it was a young man. He was a wrestler. This was like state type championships, high state level stakes. He had made it through the tournament. And before they got to the match that he was going to win, they were like, no, his hair is too wild. You have to cut it. And on the sidelines, because again, playing sports, you got to get yourself worked up anyway. Yeah, I used to wrestle in high school, so I remember like, okay, all right, yeah. And to be on the sideline, and to have some white, and again, race does play into this, especially with the imagery of it. Have some white woman helping you, because she was helping by cutting your locks down to a point where they were acceptable to wrestle.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
So that's, again, even we're going to absolutely talk about the natural hair care, but really making sure, I want people to really understand why we are celebrating natural hair care, because these are the types of things that, because our hair was, and honestly, I'm in this fight and I don't even got hair. Okay, male pattern baldness is a real thing in life, but I understand the value of this, and so that's what I'm saying. Like this is so important across the board, just because of stories like that. And like I said, every time I think of that young man, it breaks my heart. Yeah. So sorry, I did actually want to interrupt you, but I wanted to make sure that we really set the context of how important this is.
Yeah, very important. I think that's great that you gave that story, because I can only imagine, having, someone else cutting off something that I've been growing. This was my decision. I've been through so much with this. So that's a tough story to even hear, but I'm glad you put that out there so it can be heard even more,
Yeah.
And that story touches me a little bit on a deeper level, because my son has locks and my son is a wrestler. So you don't want to see this mama bear come up on that mat and try to cut my baby's hair. You know what I mean?
But
And
I can't imagine.
I can't either. Both of us gonna be surprised. So I think this is unacceptable, and that is sadly the reality, but it shouldn't have to be.
Yeah. Okay. So tell us about you, Shanel. I apologize. I changed the energy real quick, but wanted to make sure that's part of the conversation.
Well, ironically, that is me. I'm a creator and I'm a mom, and both things have really come to shape and identify who I am. Where should I start? I guess I can start with in San Diego, you have like North County, which is a little bit removed from like the culture and things like that. So about a year or two ago, I started going up to Escondido, which is the North County in San Diego, to provide culture. It's Black people up there. There are people who have locks and they have to travel all the way down to San Diego, which can be an hour drive, with traffic some days. So I will go up to Escondido, and that's how Stevie found me. It was looking for Escondido loctician. And from the moment we met, like the energy was always on. It was pure, it was respectful, it was constructive, it was always building and positive and things like that. And we just gelled. And so we just wanted to put on an event that would help people. The premise of this idea of this, because I'm into my mental health and into my spirituality and things like that. And I'm a single mom and I'm an entrepreneur. So those are really the things that help to build this event, because I wanted to do something that would provide resources to stylists that we're not taking advantage of. As a stylist, we are on our feet. We're not getting massages like we should. We're not going to the chiropractor like we should. Sometimes we're not talking to our therapist as we should. Where we need to have our blades sharpened if you're a barber. You may need a spiritual support if you're a nail tech or whatever. So stylist isn't limited to hairstylists. It could be nail tech too. But it's really just trying to bring resources to us, because we're behind a chair majority of our day and we're pouring into other people all day long. And in my own personal journey, I've learned that I can pour the best and I can pour the most quality into my clients when I've poured into myself. And so I really just want to bring resources to stylists that we need, that are over needed, but underused and under recognized, and just an opportunity for other businesses to promote and grow their businesses. So it's really just about us networking and helping one another.
That's beautiful. If you do a quick search of natural hair care in California, especially in San Diego, the number of hits, even on some place like Google, is limited. Because I try to do some research. Let me get all close to the computer because I need to talk to you and get more intimate. Because it's a computer, so I gotta feel close. But when you just do a search, what you realize is that there are so few locticians and people who have businesses that are promoted on places like Google, who do those ads and stuff like that. That as Stevie was talking about, you had to find somebody. It's not like, you can get a haircuttery any place you want, or a haircuttery type haircut any place you want, like literally in strip malls. But you have to do research, especially something, and again, from somebody with no hair, I'm just telling you what it looks like from the other side, because people with locks put so much time and energy and effort, and a lot of times what I have found is that because people don't understand, it doesn't look like what people have on the magazines. People think it's, you just didn't do anything with it. It's like, whoa, like this is deliberate. This is like bonsai. This is training of hair. So talk to me a little bit. So if you could, Stevie, as a person going through the lock journey and having to find somebody and stuff like that, what was that like for you?
Well, for me, it was a little different. Like I really didn't mind my hair just being naturally however it was. It just got to a point where it's like, okay, I'm going to need to have someone manage my crown at some point. And with me being in North County, there was like limited, basically nobody really I can find. And so when I found Shanel, she just opened my mind. So there's actually more of us out here. That's what we talk about. Like I have a friend who does it here. There's someone out here on this side, but it's just like, we got to get that connection, basically bridging the gap. And I think we kind of making steps towards that, towards giving more recognition and a platform to the stylists, to the hairstylists, and in all areas. Like she said, she's here in South County. We call it South County.
Yeah, I mean, I guess South Bay is like
South Bay, San Diego,
so it's just San Diego.
Yeah, and I'm up in North, where it's like Poway area, and it's a distance in between. But you know what we're doing, we're trying to put together a location, or like we're putting together this event so that people can come together and understand that there's more out there, there's more of a network, and then eventually we'll have one in North County. You know, we'll have one in different locations, micro sites. You know, so we're just trying to expand like that on a natural speed.
Okay. So Shanel, you talked a little bit about like being on your feet and those types of things like that, and how that was the kind of inspiration for this event. So talk to me a little bit about, like, if I'm a stylist, or if I'm a stylist of any kind and I'm coming to the event, what can I expect?
You can expect to network with different stylists and things like that. I realize that it's part of the craft to still be around other stylists, to keep your skills sharp and to stay abreast of everything. But the intention is to provide things like financial literacy, business banking, massage therapy, facials, things like that that'll help build them up individually as people, and also help build their business as well. Because I know from being a creative, a lot of us stylists are creatives primarily. So we have to build the business acumen backstage a little bit. So it's easy, not necessarily easy, but for some of us, it's a little bit easier to come and adjust somebody's crown, in my case, or to do somebody's hair, than it is to set up an LLC and then make sure you have your business bank account, and making sure that these accounts like that takes strategy, that takes coaching, that takes mentorship, all that stuff, at least for me. And so I feel like if that's the case for me, and I work with different stylists, and the conversations that we're having, we're not talking about our business license and our EIN number, and we're not talking about when the last time we got a massage and these things like that. These are things that's needed.
Yeah, and that's ultimately for like the longevity of the business, and peace of mind. You know, because we can, like she was saying, you can spend a lot of time doing the person's hair and then talking about these things, but where's the time at, or where's the extra help to actually organize something and set something straight, you know? And that's what we're doing step by step. It's not all gonna happen in this one event. This is continuous, you know?
Right. It's about creating the critical mass so that you can get to a point where you can start working on sustainability. Like, boom, let's get it happen. Let's elevate the consciousness and get people to understand what's necessary. And then as we get that, we can figure out, like, okay, so you all said the massages and that kind of Reiki, peace and meditation stuff was good. Okay, now let's hook you up with these people. Y'all can go over here and have follow-ups. And it really, and it also sounds like it'll help you all figure out the next events and trying to put all that together. Is that
exactly? Exactly. That's exactly what it is. We can talk about it now. We on to the next step about making it happen, and then starting those conversations with others. You know, instead of just your client. You know, now we're helping everyone. We're trying to help everybody. And this is the steps that we're taking.
Okay, so Shanel, one of the things that you and I have talked about before is the energy exchange when it comes to adjusting someone's crown. Because, you know, and again, not disparaging anybody's any other types of crafts, but what I have found in working with people who do some of this is that the amount of time and the intimacy of the touch, like in their hair for so long, there's an energy exchange, and a lot of times for providers, for stylists, you get all of this different energy all day, all week long, and really don't necessarily have a place to release it or a place to really kind of process it. And it sounds like you're going to be bringing some of those resources to the table too. So talk a little bit about what you're going to be bringing at what you all are going to have at this event that'll help stylists who may be having that kind of issue.
I'm sorry, repeat that last part again. I lost it.
I'm sorry. I was saying, what are you going to have at the event for stylists who may be having that type of issue, the whole energy exchange and taking on a lot of the people's, because it's a very intimate contact, and sometimes they share some of their challenges and struggles with you, and that energy exchange can get heavy after a while. So what kind of resources are you going to have at the event to address that?
The intention are to have different therapists, talk therapists, whether they are PhDs or social workers. But, you know, I find therapy to be extremely helpful in my mental health journey, and I think that that's necessary. So the intention is to have therapists of different sorts there, as well as different spiritual resources, whether it's a church or whether it's a tarot card reader, because it's something for everybody, to have just a spiritual refuge to kind of let it all down. And then for me, I kind of feel like this is something I've lived. As you said earlier, sustaining myself. And in this business, I learned, okay, I didn't know that any of this stuff was going to stick, but it's sticking and it's growing in this building. What do I need to do to ensure that I'm going to be able to be here? Because if I'm just twisting hair all day, but if I'm not putting my money away the way I should, or not reinvesting in my business, or if I'm not going to, for me, put my feet in the grass for my spirituality to ground myself, if I'm not doing these things to balance myself out, I'm not going to be able to be here. And so that's the premise behind it. So it's something for everybody, because everybody has different spiritual practices. Everybody manipulates and understands energy in a different way. So that's the intention. And also to see other creatives. I think that if people see that there are other people out here doing some of the things that they may be interested in, then that's like almost like a release to see little images of yourself and to see that it's possible.
Indeed. That's where I kind of get my feel from. Like you don't have to have no profession at all. Just being able to be around her and being around other people like this is going to be beneficial towards you. It's going to be beneficial for you. You know what I'm saying? So whether you have a business or you don't, if you are in this area, somehow you're supposed to be here with that. That's the energy that she has, that she given to me as an experience sitting in her chair. Breathing exercise techniques, you know what I mean? Like little tips like that is what I know she'll give to another stylist that's working maybe in La Jolla or up in Poway or Escondido. And that little bit is so much, because me, for example, like just sitting here, she would tell me, all right, now you go breathe, you go work on just breathing for the next 10, 15 minutes, and that's huge, because me as a kid going to a barbershop, I disliked it. I didn't like it at all, sitting there all day. Or, you know what I mean? I wasn't the talkative type. So it's different mentalities, and I was glad to find her. And I just want everybody else to feel that energy that I felt. So great question. And I'm glad I'll be able to put in on that.
And one of the things that you bring up is something that I find doesn't get talked about enough. Well, at least I don't, and maybe it's because it's my own issue. I don't hear anybody else talking about it. But what you brought up about the level of comfort in certain circumstances. Like one of the challenges for me is that male pattern baldness was actually beneficial to me, because it saved me at the time $20 a week, and it saved me this whole discomfort about going to the barbershop.
Right.
There was a level of anxiety that would trigger, because there were conversations I didn't follow sports. And at the time, I didn't like a lot of the gangster type music that the barbershops I was listening to when, or my views on women and relationships tend not to follow the mainstream, so I couldn't participate in those conversations, and I was always concerned about somehow being in a position, because it's happened before, where you get caught into a conversation, and now you are so far out of your depth, but it is wonderful. I got to be honest. It's wonderful for me to hear somebody else who had that experience, because I realized I've never even brought it up, because I thought it was just me, because everybody else around was like, they was cool with it.
Exactly. And here we are. So in a sense like that, this is how our expo can help. Okay. You probably just needed a right barber. You can still be around the elements, but if that barber made you feel comfortable, then you would continuously go and it'll be easy, but maybe that barber was so stuck into the elements and not really focused on that person, or giving his energy to you to make you comfortable, and I never had that energy feeling either. So we the same, but I got it with her in one day, in one session. So now we're here doing this because obviously we're creators and we're helpers of people, and we want them to feel the same way. So that's why I just love the creation right now.
And I think that the fact that you all are anchoring in on that side about making sure that it's not just transactional, because at a lot of times that's what it is. It's like get in, get out, get in, get out, get in, get out. I'm trying to get my money game up, and not knocking anybody for that, because this is a business for a lot of people. This is this is not like, I know, like for Shanel, this is your passion. This is actually part of your spiritual practice. But for some other people, this is they happen to have this skill, and people happen to be able to pay for it. And so I think that is also part of the conversation that I know you and I have had about finding the right fit. And I think it's really great that you all are having this conversation with other stylists about like, how do you find the fit of customers? Because real talk, a lot of business owners don't realize that they can fire clients. A lot of providers don't realize that they can fire clients. A lot of times they get so caught into the money, and again, not knocking that money's necessary, but they get so caught into the money part and trying to make the money that they forget that the money is supposed to enhance your life, not be your life. If everything you're doing is cash focused, you may end up being love poor. You may end up being life poor with a stack with a big stack. I know, talking about it in the extremes, growing up, especially when crack first hit, you had a lot of these cats who had, knots of money and short lives. And while that's hyperbolic, and hopefully, Shanel, you're not out here spraying lead trying to get people head right. But it is still that idea of that, even as if you're hustling as a stylist, you're just trying to get the money, you will end up missing opportunities for growth and also missing opportunities to develop real meaningful relationships. At least this is what the ball guy thinks is happening. Does that sound reasonable?
No, you speak a very valid point, a point that I live every day, and it's balance. Because we do have to come and we do have to work, or you do have to be responsible and diligent with your resources. But at the same time, everything can't be wrapped up into making money. You can't be worried about making the money more than making the connection, because the connection is going to last. But that money, once you spend it, it's gone. But that connection, if you nurture it and if you respect it, it can last a lifetime or longer. Okay. So I just think that it's just, I think it's just the person's mind frame. And I think it's just about whether you are hustling or aligning. I used to hustle, and now I'm learning how to align myself with what I need, because I don't want to go and chase no more. I'm a creator. So I'm going to create to bring to me the things that I need. And so that's just talking that balance and trying to live that as part of the inspiration for this expo, because I figure if I'm having this struggle, and I've been in the game a few years, and there's some people who's been in the game longer than me, and some people who are new to the game. So if I'm having this struggle, I know it's got to be some other people who may be having the same struggle. And so let's just create a conversation. Let's create some resources, and let's network and help one another and build.
That's what's up. That is what's up. So I don't want to give too much away about who all is going to be there just yet. We want, because you got to tease them a little bit. You got to tease them a little, like stretch it out a little bit, because we got about a month left, right?
We have a little less than a month. So we're about 3.5 weeks out.
Okay, so we're going to tease it out a little bit more. We're going to tease it out a little bit more for them.
I'm sorry?
No, I said we're going to tease it out a little bit more for them as we're going to tell them more about it as time goes on. We're not going to give it all away.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But wanted to really talk about some more of the type of stylist that you think should be looking at this event. Who should be trying to come to this event?
All types, I believe. Like you can go from nail techs, fashion designers, fashion stylists, like we said, mental health, like life insurance. We want all types.
Yes, attorneys, and even in just this location where we're hosting the event, it houses at least a dozen, if not 2 dozen stylists on its own. We have 1 barbershop here, 2 nail salons, 3 beauty salons with people doing hair, in addition to other businesses that, make clothing and things like that. So it's a huge opportunity for vendors to get their business out to other people, to grow their business, and to get some, to break into a new demographic. Because stylists, at least traditionally, stylists used to be cash only. And so I think that culture has kind of grandfathered down to where sometimes we're not managing the money the way we should, because we're used to getting cash, and now things are a little bit different.
Yeah, so basically everybody that's a part of this is basically like life. If you got to deal with this in life, we want you to set up here. We want to be a source for everyone to be able and comfortable in throughout their life.
Okay. And so it's especially those providers, not just the stylists who are going to be in attendance, but those people who support creatives. I know that a lot of the art schools and things like that, they have some really great production design teams and stuff like that. So if you're an artist yourself and you might want to hook up with a stylist, go there and promote your business. If you are an insurance agent, because guess what? Stylists need insurance and need multiple types of insurance, and a lot of education around it, because let's not get it twisted. When most stylists are independent business owners, they are head cook and bottle washer. So what ends up happening is that they have to make the same decisions that Jeff Bezos has to make, but they only have themselves to rely on. So if you can be, regardless of whether you're insurance, especially if you are mental health and social health, and I'm going to say this is not what they said. They may take your money no matter who you are, but I am going to say, if you do not have experience working with creatives, be very aware of that. And it's a different cultural engagement. Appreciate allyship and coming to help, but recognize that the goal is not to make creatives become traditional business owners. It is about helping and empowering them and showing them tools of traditional business and allowing their creative and giving them the opportunity to allow their creative juices to take those tools and to design and create whatever beauty exists in them. And I say this specifically because I've worked with enough lawyers and business consultants who they start off with, okay, this is what you need to do. I read the hell. You know what? I ain't gonna lie. I used to be one. I used to be one of them. I ain't gonna lie. I used to be one of the dudes like, you know what? This is what you need to do because I read it. I got this degree and that degree, and I made this much money, and I helped this many people. So you need to do what I say. But recognizing that at the end of the day, you have to live with the result and the conclusion. And if you make $1 million, that is awesome for you. You ain't got to give me no more than you agreed to pay me. And if you lose $1 million, that sucks for you, and I ain't got to give you back what you paid me.
Yeah.
So if I don't have responsibility for the benefits, I don't have to live with the consequences. I need to dial it back down when I'm giving advice. And so that's what I'm saying for those insurance agents and stuff like that, for the mental health therapists, for the Reiki masters, for the pastors. Please come with a heart open to understanding and healing and growth, and not one for control and instruction. Because I may fly out because I'm pulling all my coins together in a pouch, so I might be able to get out there in San Diego because it's 3,600. Normally I just jump in a car and drive, because I just drove my kid to college, so I'm tired as hell. And normally I just drive places, but 3,600 miles, I don't even know if I've driven that much in like a week. So I'm gonna just go ahead and take a plane if I come through, because that's disrespectful. 3,600 miles is disrespectful. It is disrespectful.
Well, congratulations on your children, and that's huge. And you never know, this might be the time for a road trip.
Again, I'm just saying a plane trip. I'm not gonna be disrespectful. I ain't gonna pretend to y'all get nobody's expectations.
It's already set.
If we wait for me to drive out there, I'm just gonna tell you now. Just at this point, I'm just gonna say no, I'm good.
Yeah, that's way too long. I ain't gonna cap. That's way too long.
But and again, I just want to. I really, because I have developed kind of a specialty of working with people who run kind of the gamut, especially in the startup phases. I have found that a lot of creatives run into this problem where people in traditional business don't consider them business owners. That they do business, but they're not entrepreneurs for real. Everybody looks at, to your point, Shanel. A lot of people look at barbers, stylists, tech people in health and beauty as hustlers, accessories, not really business owners until you become brand, until some larger company says you're okay. Like, oh, I have a distribution deal with L'Oreal. Oh, wow, congrats. No, I was a business before that.
Right.
Recognize. I think that part of it is just wanting to help equip people with building their own villages, because a traditional employee has an employer, and that employer has human resources, and they deal with employee assistance benefits. They deal with paid time off. They deal with payroll and stuff like that. But when you are self-employed, you are one person show. So you have to learn to create your village, to give yourself the resources that you need so that you can be effective and do the things that you need to do. So it's that.
That's what's up. One of the other pieces that I want to talk to you about, or get you to talk about a little bit, is you talked before about the stylist, how when Stevie came through and was like, there's nobody around. You're like, well, yeah, but is this person, that person, and maybe because they're hustling, they may be doing it this month and maybe take a summer off and then get back to it. So that consistency is there. Talk a little bit more about the business ecosystem of the stylist that you know. Like, How are they making it?
Traditionally, with good stylists, I don't know, myself included, a lot of our advertisement comes by word of mouth. So that has extended into social media, which is how Stevie and I connected. But for the most part, it's a lot of word of mouth, because people can promote and show themselves online. But from my personal experience, the stylists who are constantly referred, that's like the heavy hitters, in my opinion, because they don't have they have other people doing their talking for them. Their work is the billboard. And so most of us, like I said, is word of mouth. A lot of us, at least the people who I work with, we work together. Sometimes we refer clients where this client may not be a good fit for me, or I may not be able to give this client what they need, but this person definitely can. Or my colleagues will send their clients my way to purchase the product for their client. So again, to circle back around on what you said about a good fit is not limited to clientship. Sometimes it's also about your colleagues, because sometimes we're not aligned with the people that we're working with, and that's okay if that's a part of the journey. But I find it more conducive when everybody's on the same page and on the same wavelength, and we all trying to get it. It's enough for everybody out here to eat. You know what I mean? There's enough for everybody out here to eat. It's just, you may want bread and they may want steak, but it's enough for everybody to eat.
Right. Okay. That's what's up. So Stevie, as a creator working with student athletes, what was it about? Let me take a step back. As you started your lock journey, because your locking journey, your hair journey, kind of got you here. What was the impetus for you to start? Like, why did you start locking your hair?
Free spirit. I was in the NFL, and during the time I was in the league, it was more like clean cut. It was kind of how you said with this story. I didn't know it was that in depth with them cutting off our hair, to participate. It wasn't like, but in a sense, you are looked at a little bit different if you was to, have your hair free formed or whatnot. And that was more so of me. I felt like that's what I wanted. That's what I like. Growing up, I have my hair, long hair. I go to short hair. And I just wanted to continue that right now. So that's pretty much where my journey began. Just being free, letting my hair go how it does, and go from there.
And I think that whole sentiment of having that freedom is one of the reasons that the whole Crown Act, the national, that I know that means a lot, because let's not pretend. America has found ways to dominate people with melanin for a few hundred years. And it is, and to our credit, we have created a world where they've had to get more nuanced, more. It's not because you're black, it's because your hair is unruly. Well, who else's hair is unruly? I mean, that just is coincidence that it happens to be all the black people. And not all of you, because some of you are good and perm your hair enough or cut it enough so you make us comfortable. And so to have a bunch of legislators, and not just black ones, because if it was just the black legislators, let's not pretend that this would go anywhere. Some really good white allies who came to the table and said, "Hey, Stevie, you know what? You don't have to cut your hair to get a job, yo."
Right.
Is one more shackle that gets removed, and these are the ones you can't even see.
Right, and that's what we showing with what we do. This ain't nothing gangster, or we ain't trying to show off anything about it. I mean, this is us. You gotta accept it. And what we're doing with our events, this is basically showing like you can be around us too. This is not only like for our people, it's for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But at the same time, you go get some education and some knowledge and understanding about how we do things, how we move, how we talk, how we get out.
And jump in right quick. I feel like, at least with our people, it's a part of our culture. It's a part of our culture because a lot of us are far, far, far removed from our tribes, our native tongue, the food that we eat. So we started to create our own culture, and the hair is part of that, along with the music that we listen to. So so to piggyback on what you said, it's really about a respect and understanding about the culture. It's not just the style, it is really a part of culture. And that's how I view it. It is a style, but it is very much a part of culture too.
Absolutely. And one of the other parts that I've heard people talk about before, and I just want to get you all's take on it, is that this idea that having to have your hair in a European approved style or a European approved texture is also discriminatory against those who don't have resources. Because especially since our hair doesn't grow like that, well, for those of y'all whose hair still grows out of your head, for those of y'all, because your hair doesn't grow like that, that means in order to make yourself look like that, you've got to continue to spend money. You don't have opportunities to really walk into work with your protective styles or anything like that because they won't let you, don't have the money to get the haircut. Actually, you know, one of the best scenes in that movie Barbershop with Ice Cube was when the dude came in, was like, oh, I'm trying to get a haircut, you know, because I got a job interview, and then he ended up stiffing him and running out, and then came back, was like, dude, I just wanted to, here's the money and a tip, and you know, because I did get the job, and it's one of those things like that to me crystallizes like this dude, and whether, you know, it's a movie, so blah, but I know that I've been in interviews where people come in and they don't look like they're put together. That's one of the things people mention after they leave, like, why did they, how does that deal with the job? Like, does my tie mean that what tie should I wear to let you know that I'm gonna do a good job? Or, you know, how does my hair look that lets you know I'm gonna do a good job? It's what you're looking for is how much do I seem like the me in your head? You have an idea what a black guy coming into a meeting needs to look like in order to work here. Your hair should be a certain way. Your face should be a certain way. And up until this point, they've been able to get away with it. But I think to what you all are doing is very important because we have to fight against each nuance of this. You know, we can't just go wait for the big fights anymore like that. But like, I was so happy with the backlash that entire school district got for that picture. I mean, it literally made national news. And I was glad that they got the backlash. But the cool part about what you all are doing is it changes the narrative, gets people who are in these positions information that they can go and share it with people so that other kids like him don't have to live like that.
Precisely. That's it. That's the no, you know, that's good because that's exactly what it is. We just as simple as that. We just want you to come out and see that it's all good. Basically, you go learn something, some type of knowledge. It can be the smallest bit of knowledge, but I'm telling you, go learn. It's positive and it's gonna be progressive. That's the main thing.
All right. Okay. All right. So what we will do, watch this. What we're going to do, we're going to take it up. I'm going to talk to the team. I got your links and stuff like that. And I commit from the morning show. You all got an open invitation. You might not be able to take the whole hour next time because, you know, we got other shit we got to do, bills to pay. But anytime you all want to come through and bring clients or some of the vendors, and we got you scheduled for about a week or so from now, right? I think Shanel, you're not okay, cool. Yes. So you're absolutely coming back, but we'll put all of your information in the links and send it out through our network and through BlackUSA.news and stuff like that. That cool?
Yes. Absolutely. Thank you so much for having us. It's been a true pleasure and an honor. It's always amazing whenever we connect. Always.
Absolutely. And Stevie, it's good to meet you, brother. Like you probably won't get to see you in real life because you know you're 3,600 miles away, and that's a very long distance.
Never know, man. We go connect. Our paths go cross.
I appreciate it, but I'm very grateful for the electronic bridge that has been built. As you know, COVID was horrible, and you know, I've lost so many people during it. But one of the things that if we can look at some of the benefits that have been able to come out of the horror that we came through, it is this new, and I think Shanel, you and I have talked about this before, this new appreciation of what actually matters. Because, you know, before we were thinking, oh, CEOs are so important and this is so important. You need to have this type of degree. But during COVID, we realized that the dude who came in at 6 a.m, wiped off the groceries and put them on the shelves, my life could not sustain without him. I don't give a damn where his CEO was. Or even, watch this, the people that, you know, I've seen people treat janitorial staff so horribly. But guess what? In a time like this, if they're not doing their job, we literally die.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
And so again, I am grateful, and what it's done is created these opportunities and normalized being able to get to know and meet somebody in real time, 3,600 miles away, and be like, oh yeah, that's Stevie, cool.
Yeah, hey, definitely. And I want to piggyback off of that. With the COVID, that sparked a lot in me. You know, that even sparked a lot in me as a speaker, as someone to talk and open up. with COVID happening, they shut down all the stuff. They, people lost out. If that would have never happened, though, I don't think I would have opened up about, hey, maybe we should do more, or let's create something else. But because people was already good. That was my sense, before the COVID happened. So I think that's one of the things, the good sides of us continuously rushing and trying to get things going, get the world back going.
And to your point, the recognition of how many people weren't actually good and how many of us were just pretending. Like I know that there were so many people who their entire lives was this string of events. Hell, I was one of them, string of events. Oh, I got to go here. Oh, I got to meet here. I got to do this. And not realizing that all of that outside time, I was spending, I didn't even realize until I stopped going places for COVID, how much money I was spending in parking and food. Like, because it's like, oh, no, it's only $5 but when you're doing that 2 or 3 times a day, every day. And then I didn't realize how much time I was spending doing stuff and not taking care of my own mental health, taking care of my own spiritual health. I would always get around to it. Oh, I'm going to take care of it. And when COVID says, no, motherfucker, sit down. And I was like, all right, but I gotta go. Where you going? Go where? Go where? And I was like, wait a minute, I'm trapped in here by myself with my own thoughts. Oh my God. And then I got a therapist, and then I had somebody else to be like, oh my God. He was like, come on, relax a little bit. But to the point, and I don't want, I want to make sure I stay clear that I'm not celebrating COVID, because and I've talked to some people about this before. I don't celebrate abusers. I celebrate the strength of those who were abused. The fact it wasn't that your abuser, I had, because a friend of mine, her mom was an abuser and did all of this stuff. Actually, shit, now I think about it, I had multiple friends who told me this story. Dang. And their mom was like, well, look, you wouldn't be where you are if it wasn't for me. You always complain about how I raised you. And I was like, no. That was, you did it in spite of what she did, not because of. You didn't need sleepless nights to be strong, because you proved that you were strong because of sleepless nights. And so I want to make sure that we're talking about the same thing with COVID. It's not that COVID is good, is that we got an opportunity to see how much better we could be in that crisis. Now, damn it, I'm over crises, and this monkeypox needs to resolve, because I don't need to grow no more. I have grown enough. I don't need any more natural disasters to help me build character. I am an Emmy award-winning character at this point. Let's just go ahead and I want some boring movies. I want boring movies for the rest of my life. I have done Avengers Endgame doing this damn thing. Nope. Now I want like Paddington. No, not even Paddington. He was too wild for me. I want horrible critical acclaim at this point.
The cold thing about it, though, it ain't gonna stop. Yeah. Every 4, every 5 is gonna be something else. This monkeypox happened faster than I thought.
And again, what's also happening, and see, y'all about to start a whole new show. Y'all disrespectful. But to your point, and again, another reason that I think that this type of event, where it's really helping finding those resources, not just for the business, not just to make the money, but also to make the life worth living, making the money worth having, is because Williams' estimation. Now, I will own this, so if it doesn't come true, that's on me. My prediction, no, I'm not going to be Nigrodamus. But so my prediction is that things are going to get much worse. And unless we have taken the precaution of not just girding our economics or making sure we have money saved, but we need to make sure that we have a tribe of our own. Everybody needs to make sure they're connected, because what I am seeing is that the extremists are connected, and they are connected, that like they're crazy glued together. And that singular focus makes them exceptionally more dangerous. In addition, resources, because a lot of the large corporations have bought up a lot of land and a lot of houses, single family houses now. They're moving the market to make it less feasible for people to actually buy stuff. And now you've seen what happened with gas prices. And so again, the way what you all are talking about is that the need for these opportunities for peace, to find places where you align, to find ways to manage your energy, are going to become even more critically important. Why? Because shit is about to get way more fucked up.
Word up. True. So our community got to be as tight as them extremists.
Exactly. And that's why one of the reasons aside from Shanel is cool people and one of my great friends. But one of the other reasons I wanted to really highlight this, especially on the show, was because this is another opportunity to model what it's like to work together, to create these tribes, to create these small groups that, because when it gets twisted, you know, we think about what happened when we tried to rely on these larger institutions and even these national organizations. When things get twisted, they don't know what's happening in our neighborhood. They don't know when to call me, but Shanel knows, like, oh, hell, you called me a little while ago and I wasn't able to answer the phone. You were like, oh no, something wrong. Let me make sure. Why? Because you know me. You know that because of my follow-up with you, if I'm not following up, you need to double check. Corporations don't know that. And so as we start looking for on the micro level, we are able to support each other. We're able to understand. And so that's, again, why I think this is an incredible opportunity and event. And I'm encouraging everybody. Too bad that, you know, like, hopefully y'all get one of the micros to come out Baltimore somewhere and I can get people over there. But I'm going to do my best in San Diego to see what I can do, see what kind of influence we got out there, make sure.
Well, actually, we can use some of our Baltimore people who are looking to grow their business. Like if you are in Baltimore and you can't be in San Diego, then you can be a sponsor. We will show your logo and your website, your QR code to San Diego so that you can have a whole new market for
look at you, market penetration and open the market with your bands. Cool. So we're gonna we're gonna add those links and things to our website and to our show edits or whatever. And just let me know when you all want to come back on.
Absolutely. You know, we'll be connecting really soon.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. All right, Stevie and Shanel, thank you all very much. And I will talk to you all.
Peace.
Peace.
Oh man, didn't I tell y'all I know dope people? Y'all don't even be listening to me sometimes. Y'all be like, you know some people. Nope. Even the new people are dope. Even the new ones. Does this mean I'm dope? Am I the dope gravity? Am I like a dope nexus? Like the nucleus of dopeness? Let me see. That. Oh no, I probably shouldn't believe that because that sounds a little megalomaniacal. Let me write this down. This got to be a thing on therapy. Am I the dope one? Give me a second. Okay. Because don't act like y'all don't know. I need to take therapy notes because sometimes stuff be happening just on the fly and I can't remember to go talk to nobody about it. And y'all know I need to talk to somebody. They've adjusted my meds. It's fine. But like I said, I know dope people. And for all of you all who are out there in San Diego or can get to San Diego, make sure that you all go to the event. All of the information is right here. Now, make sure that you go. And if you did take a screenshot or whatever, make sure that you go and make sure that you get your life and learn how to build your tribe. All right. Let's see. What else do we have? Oh, no ending show notes today. Whoop, whoop. All right. We will be black tomorrow.